not usually a group that deals with quote-unquote real-world politics. But this is one of those cases where even if you're not interested in politics, politics is interested in you. I'm sure we have been following the news enough over the past few weeks to have heard about the so-called travel ban executive order that came out of the Oval Office a few weeks ago. Just as a little recap, it bans people entering from certain particular nations, stops refugees from Syria entirely, stops refugees from everywhere for a certain amount of time. But here's where that affects us. We have, on this campus, at least 118 students whose permanent addresses come from those nations in question. You can find the list on the text of the bill. And there are plenty of other people who have family in those nations, who are, those family can't come here, or they can't leave as long as this country, or it would be a very bad idea for them to leave, as long as this continues. And these are our fellow students, these are the people who teach a lot of our classes. Each of these people is one of us. Now, I understand that, even coming out of Slidco last night, that some of you are going to have questions. Why this particular wording? Why are we looking at the executive order? Why are we not just making it a standard, we're in support of international students? Here's the thing. We talk about representing our own all the time, representing our 500. And sometimes that means we got to stick up for them. And part of sticking up for them is diagnosing the problem. We got to say what the problem is. Sometimes you got to tell people, hey, this is wrong. Stop this. And I'll be frank, if you don't think this is the right way to do this resolution tonight, then the student body, the people we represent, deserve to hear why you don't think this is a good idea. I think this is the best idea that we can come up with as a Senate, at least at the moment. I believe it is a statement that needs to be made. And it's a statement that needs to be made strongly, because I think if we don't make it strongly, the international student community is going to see it for what it is. Thank you.
Questions for the author? Senator Price.
I have two questions. Senator Williams, were you a student government during 2011 at the University of North Carolina?
In the fall of 2011, Georgia Tech.
Okay. Well, did you write a bill for the current president at that time, that closed immigration moved into and from the nation by Iraq for 6 months back then? Did you do that as well?
I was not aware of that particular thing at the time. However, to get to the implied critique, whether this executive order had been written by, whether it's written by Trump, Obama, Hillary, George Washington, this is bad for the people we represent.
Further questions? Senator Martin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Okay, so in the past 20 years, in the 7 countries listed in the bill, how many terrorist-related deaths have resulted from immigrants in these 7 countries in the United States?
The answer would be 0, Senator. In fact, if you extend it from the 7 countries to all countries covered by the current refugee program over the past 40 years, that total goes up to a grand total of 3, and those were from a couple of incidents involving Cuban refugees.
Further questions for the author? Senator Student Government.
I think it is an educated appraisal based on what is happening and what could very well happen to our students and future students and others elsewhere.
Further questions? Senator Wheatley.
Can you submit to a series?
Sure.
Why do you feel it's appropriate to inject personal political beliefs in students?
I think here you have to make a distinction between political and partisan. I mean, partisan, yes, we are not partisan, but at the very, like I said earlier, this is wrong no matter who does it, and also this is affecting students we represent, which makes this within our competence. And like I said, this is one of those cases where we might not be interested in politics, but politics is interested in us.
Okay. And then my second question, will you be willing to amend this to soften the tone of it?
I'll have to see the wording, but possible.
Further questions for the author? Senator Conroy.
So you stated this bill is inherently the ban is inherently wrong. Like, someone understanding that is subjective, and why is it wrong to deny entrance to a country with different beliefs?
Well, under these circumstances, I mean, maybe I might have stretched it by saying inherently, but at the very least, wrong under these circumstances. We're talking about people, in the case of the 118 or so and others, who have already been vetted, have already been oftentimes extremely vetted, to use the favorite term right now. I mean, they've shown that they're safe, that they are little to no threat to the United States of America, and I could go for a long time, but obviously my time is limited.
Further questions? Senator Sato.
So you said at the beginning that you felt a bill just in support of students from these countries was not enough. And I think we all kind of realize that a resolution from us is not going to overturn the executive order. So why exactly do you feel like a statement or putting some sort of program in place to help these students is not enough?
Well, what I was meaning by that, and I think you might understand would be understanding better where I'm coming from if you had been able to make it to Slidco last night. I mean, there was a temptation, there were some people who were just trying to make this resolution into more a generic statement about, hey, we support international students, as opposed to saying, this executive order is wrong. We call upon students to contact their legislator, all the stuff that's in the current text of the bill. I mean, I think that's a better strategy.
May I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
You applaud President Alexander for his letter, but his letter didn't say that the ban was wrong. It just said that we are in support of our students.
It is, and I'm saying we want to push that further. He said, and the quote is in the bill, that our colleagues from the international community are more than simply welcome at LSU. They are respected and valued, end quote. So for us to show, not just tell, that they are respected and valued, we have to call this executive order what it is, really, really, really bad, and we have to make a strong statement at the very least that, hey, you need to lay off.
Further questions? Senator Michael.
Do you think the quote urging the immediate revocation of the executive order from the President of the United States is slightly exaggerated or even attainable as a senator?
I mean, we're urging, we can definitely urge, we are making a call for a revocation. We're saying this shouldn't be in effect, and we're at,
It will happen?
I mean,
Do you think it will happen?
I mean, depends on how some of the people seeing this react. I mean, there's a reason I did put our congressional delegation in the list of people to receive it. Now, are they going to agree with us? I don't know. But at the very least, I mean, they can't. I mean, if we don't try, it's a 0% chance rate. I mean, 0% possibility of.
Can I follow up? Do you think there's other wordings that could be a little bit more political, as in having a higher chance than 0 of this field affect international students? Higher wording?
Show me the wording, and I might be able to get back to you then.
What about the, can I ask another one? What about naming a hostile committee last night? The changing of that phrase?
And once again, the wording that came out then, I didn't feel was right. If there's a different wording, maybe.